Samael and Azazel. Two names that modern translators have hid from you, but that appear hundreds of times in the original Hebrew manuscripts. As you grew up listening to Satan and demons, the ancient rabbis knew their true names, their distinct personalities, and something even more disturbing. They were brothers. Angelic twins created on the same day, with specific purposes in the divine plane, before becoming the architects of the cosmic rebellion. But here's what will shock you. Azazel is not only mentioned in the Bible, he plays an official role in Israel's most sacred ritual. Every day of atonement in Leviticus 16, 2 goats were chosen, one for Yahweh, one specifically for Azazel. The priests pronounced this damn name in the holy place of the earth. And Samuel? The manuscripts of the Dead Sea reveal that he was not just the serpent in Eden. He was the poison of God. Literally, this is what his name means in Hebrew. An angel created to be the divine left hand, responsible for judgments and destruction, before corrupting his mission and turning against his own creation. Archaeological discoveries of the last 20 years, especially Enoch's scrolls found in Qumran, have revealed details about these two beings that make the stories of terror seem like children's tales. Rabbins like Rashi and Maimonides discussed their identities for centuries, but kept this information away from the public. At the end of this video, you will understand why your names have been erased from modern translations, how they still influence world events today, and what the true meaning behind the ritual Jesus came to fulfill. Get ready to find out that everything you thought you knew about evil, it was just scratching the surface. Imagine yourself on Mount Sinai, 3,400 years ago. Moses descends from the mountain with the laws of the law, but also with detailed instructions on something that would make the Israelites tremble with fear: Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. At the center of this most sacred ritual, there is a ceremony that looks like a nightmare. The high priest, pure white linen dress, selects 2 perfectly identical goats. The crowd observes absolutely silent as he throws sorts over the animals. Luck has recorded Leoel to the Lord. The other, one word that makes even the bravest to lower their eyes: Lazazel to Azazel. And Aaron shall throw sorties over the 2 goats, luck by the Lord, and the other luck by Azazel. And Aaron will come to the luck to fall for the Lord, and will offer him by atonement of sin. But the goat on which Azazel will fall alive before the Lord, to do with him, to send him to the desert, Azazel. Leviticus 16, 8-10. In the original Hebrew, the word Azazel appears 4 times in this chapter. It's not a place. It's not an abstract concept. It's a proper name. A specific being who lives in the desert, capable of receiving the sins of an entire nation. But who is Azazel to have this terrible power? Enoch's manuscripts, discovered by the Dead Sea Scrolls, reveal that Azazel was one of the vigilantes, angels of the highest hierarchy sent to observe humanity. But he did more than observe. 1 Enoch, chapter 8, verse 1, reports, "And Azazel taught men how to make swords, knives, shields, and armor, and showed them the metals of the earth, and the art of working them." Meanwhile, in the same manuscripts, the figure of Samuel emerges, whose name in Hebrew Samuel literally means poison of God or blindness of God. He first appears in the Pseudo-Jannatic Targum, an ancient Aramaic translation of Genesis, where he is explicitly identified as the serpent that tried Eve. But the connection goes deeper. In Revelation 12:09, we read, "And the great dragon, the old serpent, called the devil and Satan, was precipitated, who deceives the whole world." The word ancient serpent in the original Greek is ho ophis ho archaios, a direct reference to Hebrew traditions about Samuel in Eden. This is where the story is disturbing. Both Azazel and Samuel were originally angels of God, created for specific purposes. Azazel was the guardian of earthly wisdom, responsible for teaching humanity the arts of civilization. Samael was the angel of just death, the executor of divine judgments. But if they had such noble purposes, what turned them into the dark twins? Of Scripture? The answer is hidden in a rebellion that began not on earth, but in heavenly cuts, and involves a secret that will change forever as you see the fall of humanity. The transformation of angels of light into princes of darkness did not happen overnight. The answer is hidden in 3 clues left in the oldest texts of humanity, and when you connect the points, the story that emerges is more sinister than any fiction. The first clue is in Genesis 6:2. They saw the children of God, that the daughters of men were beautiful, and they took women from all they chose. In the original Hebrew, children of God is Bena ha-Malayim, a technical term used exclusively for angels. 1 Enoch 6:3-7 reveals that Azazel was one of the leaders of this angelic rebellion, convincing 200 angels to abandon his heavenly posts. The second track comes from the Jubilee book, discovered in fragments in Qumran. There we found that Samael did not act alone in Eden. He was the prince of the accusers, but worked in coordination with Azazel, who had already corrupted humanity with forbidden knowledge. Eve's temptation was just the final act of a much larger plan. But wait, there is more. The Babylonian Talmud, Treaty Yoma 6:7b, reveals something shocking about the ritual of Atonement Day. The ancient rabbis knew exactly who Azazel was. Azazel was the one who was in the desert, the leader of the demons. But why would God command a specific ritual for him? The third and most disturbing track is in the very nature of the ritual. The goat sent to Azazel was not a sacrifice. It was a return. The sins of humanity were being returned to the one who taught them first. Azazel had taught the secrets of the metallurgy that created the first weapons. Samael had planted the seed of disobedience. Together, they corrupted both technology and human morality. Scholars such as Dr. David Stir from Princeton Seminary argue that Azazel represents the embodiment of primordial chaos, while rabbinic tradition, especially Rash in his comments on Leviticus, plays Azazel as a literal demon who inhabits desolate places. Recent archaeological discoveries in Qumran suggest a third interpretation. Azazel would be a title, not a name, the fort of God who became the rebel of God. This also explains why in Isaiah 14:12-15, the fall of Lucifer is described. In such specific terms, how you have fallen from the sky, O morning star, daughter of the Alva. The Hebrew word Hillel was one of Samael's titles before the fall, while Azazel was known as Azazel ha-Gibor, Azazel the powerful. But here is the revelation that will change everything. They were not simply rebels. According to Zohar, the most important Jewish mystical text, Samael and Azazel were spiritual twins, 2 faces of the same cosmic force created by God to balance creation and destruction. When they rebelled, they not only fell, they perverted fundamental divine purposes. Wait, there is more. It also reveals why Jesus needed to specifically fulfill the ritual of Atonement Day, and how the battle between these dark twins continues to impact your life today in ways you never imagined. But what does this ancient angelic war have to do with you today? More than you think. Each time you face the temptation to use your talents to destroy instead of building, you are reliving the fall of Azazel. Every moment when you whisper lies, instead of telling the truth, you echo Samael's voice at Eden. How many times have you felt like it was inhabited by 2 opposite forces? One pushing you into excellence and creation, another dragging you into destruction and chaos? It is no coincidence. Dark twins did not disappear. They just changed strategy. Think of the internet, social networks, artificial intelligence. Just as Azazel taught the metallurgy that created the first weapons, our generation received technological knowledge that can save or destroy humanity. The question is, are you? using these tools to build or to corrupt, to connect or to divide. It is as if you were a programmer with access to the source code of reality. Samuel whispers, use this power to rise above others, to manipulate, to get what you want. Azazel adds, here are the tools to do this. But God whispers something different. Use this power to love, to heal, to restore. Jesus knew of this battle. In John 10:10 he declares, the thief comes but stealing, killing, and destroying. I came to have life and have it with abundance. The thief in the original Greek is klepts, the one who steals through mistake. Exactly Samuel's specialty. Does God also put enigmas in our life for a purpose? Absolutely. Each temptation you face is an opportunity to choose between the pattern of the dark twins or the pattern of Christ. When Azazel whispers, use your knowledge to dominate, you can choose to use it to serve. When Samuel whispers, doubt the goodness of God, you can choose to trust. Stop a moment and think, in what area of your life do you feel this spiritual war more intensely? In your professional ambitions? In your relationships? In the way you treat your talents and skills? In relationships, Samuel operates through doubt and accusation. Does he really love you? She's using you. Azazel operates through corrupt knowledge, teaches emotional manipulation techniques, strategies for winning instead of loving. But Christ teaches us a third way, courageous vulnerability and sacrificial love. 1 John 4:04 reminds us, little children, you are from God, and you have already overcome them, because greater is what is in you than what is in the world. The which is in the world specifically includes these principalities and powers that Paul mentions in Ephesians 6:12. The good news? Jesus has already defeated the dark twins. When he died on the cross and rose, he not only paid for the sins, he broke the power that Azazel and Samael had about humanity. The ritual of Atonement Day has been fulfilled forever. This leads us to a surprising conclusion. You are not a victim of this spiritual war. You are a warrior equipped with heavenly authority. And there is a specific reason why God allowed you to find out about the dark twins today. ... Dark twins, Samael, the poison of God who became the whispering serpent, and Azazel, the mighty of God who became the corrupt of wisdom, are not just historical figures. They are eternal archetypes of the choice each of us faces daily. To use our gifts to build the kingdom of God, or to build our own Tower of Babel. But here is the final revelation that will mark your soul. God has not destroyed them because he knew that you would need to recognize your whispers to overcome them. Every temptation they put before you is, in fact, an opportunity to demonstrate that light is stronger than darkness, that love is more powerful than fear, that truth prevails over lies. I challenge you to do something radical in the next 24 hours. Identify an area of your life where you have used your talents selfishly, as Azazel taught, or where you have spread doubts and negativity, as Samuel opera. And then, consciously, choose the opposite way. Use this talent to bless someone. Speak life where death before was spoken. If this discovery impacted you as much as I impacted me when I dived into the original manuscripts for the first time, tap the like button. This is not just for the algorithm. It is a statement that you choose to know the truth, even when it is disturbing. Count on the comments. Which of the two dark twins do you recognize more in your life? Azazel, which corrupts knowledge and skills to master others. Or Samuel, who whispers doubts about the goodness of God. Be vulnerable. Your transparency can free someone who is fighting the same battle. And if you know someone who is being attacked by thoughts of doubt, or who is using their talents destructively, share this video. Sometimes understanding the spiritual origin of our struggles is the first step to victory. Remember, you were created in the image of God, not in the shadow of the fallen angels. A choice is yours. Always has been. Always will be.